Right. So consider this example where read this problem. 50 people are attacked by a maybe it can be treated as a contemporary problem. 50 people are attacked by a disease and only 43 survived. Out of 50, 43 have survived after attacking the disease. Now, in this scenario, what happened? A medical institute declares more than 85% of the people will survive if attacked by the disease. That is the statement given by a medical institute. Okay. Now, the question is, will you accept the hypothesis at 5% level of significance? That's all. Now, what is the sample and what is the population and what is the acceptance level of significance that we have to use? So everything is given in the problem itself. What is the hypothesis we have to check? Accept the hypothesis means the medical institute declares more than 85% of the people will survive if attacked by the disease. That is the hypothesis statement passed by a medical institute. So towards the end of the problem, towards the end of this problem, we are going to conclude that can we mathematically can we accept this statement, the statement given by this medical institute, or can we reject the statement given by this medical institute? I hope the problem is clear to you. Is there any doubt? If you do not participate in the class or if you do not understand the problem, both the ways it is difficult to you only. At least say yes or no in the chat box. So I will also pass the statement that out of 64 attendees, only 2 are listening. Right? Here the ratio is very less, the sample ratio. Okay. Okay, anyway. So now, what is the sample size? Sample size n is 50. Okay. And what is the proportion of successful events? Successful event means surviving after attacking by the disease. That is sample proportion. Sample proportion. P is given by favorable successful events upon the total size of the sample. So that is 43 upon 50. So that is 0.86. Right. Fine. Now, what is the hypothesis given to it? Do we know the population size? No, we do not know about what is the population size. We do not. Do we know the population proportion? Do we know the population proportion? The population proportion, or no, not at this point. At this point, we do not know the population proportion. Okay. So here, let us have the null hypothesis. That is represented with H naught. What this H naught says, the population proportion is equal to 0.85. That is 85%. It is given now. So the population proportion is equal to 0.85. Okay. Now, what is the alternate hypothesis? What is the alternate hypothesis? Now, who will tell about what is the alternate hypothesis? Who will tell about the alternate hypothesis? Can anyone say what is the alternate hypothesis in this problem? Generally, alternate hypothesis means it is against the null hypothesis. That is, the capital P is not equal to 0.85. But if you read the problem carefully, there is some more information is given here. What is that one? The population proportion is bigger than 0.85. Declares the more than 85% of the people. Okay. Now, so sample proportion is there. Now we have the population proportion also under the null hypothesis, that is capital P is equal to 0.85. 0.85. Now we need to check the difference between the sample proportion and the population proportion. So what is the test statistic now? Test statistic. What is Z here? Z is given by small p minus capital P upon the square root of capital P times 1 minus capital P upon n. So now evaluate this value. So Z is equal to capital P, small p is 0.86 minus capital P is 0.85 upon the square root of capital P is 1 upon n. N is 50. Capital P is 0.85. 1 minus P is 0.15. So that is equal to, please evaluate the value and give me here. Capital Z is equal to how much? So it will be something here, it's 0.01 upon the denominator value may be 0.15. So 100. What is the value? The denominator value. Okay, whatever thing, I think nearby said the, I think the total value that is seems to be 0.1983. 0.1983. Right? Am I right? 0.1980. Okay. 0.1980. Okay. Now, at what level of significance we are verifying it? 5% level of significance. But here, remember here that here we are using one-tailed test. One-tailed test for alpha is equal to 5% level of significance. That is how to evaluate now Z alpha. Z alpha is equal to what for one tail test? That is probability of the Z is bigger than Z alpha is equal to alpha. Alpha now 0.05, right? Now from this one, which is same as 1 by 2 plus probability of 0 is less than Z is less than or equal to Z alpha is equal to 0.95. So the probability of 0 is less than Z is less than or equal to Z alpha is equal to 0.95 minus 0.5, so that is 0.45. Now from the table, get the value Z alpha for which we have the 0.45 from the table. 0.45. 0.45. So it is 1.645. So the Z alpha value is what? 1.645. Am I right? Z alpha value is 1.645. Yeah. 1.645. Now, conclusions. What is the conclusion now? Since the calculated value is less than the critical value Z alpha for one tail test implies accept H naught that is accepting H naught means what? Accepting H naught means the survival rate is 85%, that we can accept at the level of 5% level of significance, or which is same as with the 95% confidence, we can say that the survival rate is 85%. Okay. Now, any doubts in this problem? Regarding this problem, any doubts? Again, the same thing. If you do not reply whether you are following or not, then how can you proceed further? If you understood, then say yes. If you have some problem, then say no, then ask your doubt. Again, there is only 1, 2, 3, 2 replies, just that's all from me every time. The remaining people do not know how to send the message or what? The next one. A company manufactures 2 types of iron rods for construction. The head of the company conducted a survey to know about the customer's opinion. So there is a company that manufactures 2 types of iron rods for constructions. Most of you know, being a civil engineers, right? Now, the head of the company conducted a survey to know about the customer's opinion regarding the two types of iron rods, obviously. Now, the company might be having two, three, maybe more than one branch. Maybe at one branch, they have taken 500 customer samples of 500 customers, out of which 60% of the first sample are favored to the type 1. Whereas maybe at some other branch, the sample of 400 customers, out of 400 customers, 46% are against type 2. 46% of customers are against type 2 means 54% of customers are favored to type 1. Because the company manufactures two types of iron rods, only two, right? So there is no other option. And they are customers for this manufacturing company. So if they are against to one type, obviously they are favored to the other type, right? So that is given. Okay. Is there any significant difference between the two groups in their opinion towards the iron rods of type 1? We need to check at 5% level of significance. I think there is no need to explicitly mention what is the purpose of solving this problem. Being a civil engineer, I hope you understood what is the with this problem. After solving this problem, what you can have, and with the solution, what you can do. Okay, right. So now, so this is a company that manufactures, right, iron rods. At this is the sample 1, and this is the sample 2. In the sample 1, what is the size of the sample 1? 500. Yes, 500. Size of the sample is 500. And sample 2 is, size of the sample 2 is 400 customers. Now in this 500, how many are favored to the type 1? 60%. 60%. So here P1 is given to us. Capital P1 is given to be 0.6. Capital P1 is given to be 0.6. And N1 is given to be 500. Now capital P2 is given to be 46% are against type 2. So 54% are favored to type 1. Why? Because if you carefully read the problem, the question is about the type 1. It is not about the type 2 is not mentioned. That is 0.54 and N2 is 400. N2 is 400. Okay. Now, out of all the customers, what is the proportion of customers favoring to the type 1? That is not known to us. That is not given to us. Have you seen in the problem anyway whether they have given what is the population proportion? Is there anything? Is there anything related to this one? Is there anything related to this one? Nothing. It is not. Nothing is there related to the proportion of customers favored to the type 1 iron rods. That is not mentioned. Then what to do? Okay, we will see. Okay. First, we will see. that what is the null hypothesis? What is the null hypothesis H naught? It is given to be, is there any significant difference between the two groups in their opinion towards the type 1? That is, small p1 is assumed to be small p2. That is, no significant difference between the two groups, no significant difference in the no significant difference in the opinion. Whether my screen is visible, I got some I saw some glitch here. Whether my screen is visible or not. Okay, right. There's no significant difference between in the customer's opinion okay, right. Then what is the alternate hypothesis? Alternate hypothesis is H1. So obviously it is against the null hypothesis. So that is, it assumes there is a significant difference in customer's opinion. Okay, right. So now what is the test statistic we need to find out? Test statistic Z is equal to difference between the proportion, sample proportions, P1, P2, mine upon the square root of the square root of the square root of what is this one actually? If you remember, P1 times 1 minus P1 capital P upon N1 plus P2 times 1 minus P2 upon capital N2. But here you look at what is here capital P1 and capital P2. Here capital P1 and capital P2 are proportions. Capital P1 and capital P2 are proportions of customers favored to type 1 iron rods. Okay, but you look at here, the type 1 iron rods are manufactured in this problem. They are manufactured only from one company. So obviously, what will happen? Capital P1 is equal to capital P2. Suppose if there are two different companies, the type 1 iron rods are if the type 1 iron rods are manufactured by two companies, company A and company B, and then in that case, capital P1 represents the proportion of customers favored to type 1 iron rods manufactured by the company A, and P2 represents the proportion of iron rods, proportion of customers favored to type 1 iron rods manufactured by the company B. But in this problem, what we have? In this problem, we have the type 1 iron rods are manufactured by the same company, and hence the capital P1 and the capital P2 both are same. Capital P1 and capital P2 both are same. Okay, but okay, now even for this company also, do we know the proportion? How many generally? What is the proportion of customers they are favored to the type 1 iron rods manufactured by this company? Do we know this? Do we know? No, it is not given in the problem. So in this case, what we have to do, we need to approximate. We need to approximate this capital P. So let me call it as equal to capital P. So this P will be approximated. This P will be approximated with the proportions given to us. That is, favorable customers N1 times P1 plus N2 times P2 upon N1 plus N2. Okay. What is this one? N1 is 500, sample 1. N2 is 400, sample 2. Now N1 into P1, so that is 500 into how much? 500 into 0.6. 500 into 0.6 means how much? 300. 300 plus 400 into P2. So 400 into P2. So how much? 216. Right? 216. So altogether it is equal to how much? So 516 upon 900. So what is the proportion now? What is the capital P now here? What is the capital P here? 516 upon 900. 516 upon 900. So something around 0.733333 amsa. So I think I can write 0.574. Let me stop it here. Okay. 0.574. Okay. Now, so P1 is equal to P2. So here it is in the now in the test statistic. Now we are in a position to evaluate what is the value, test statistic value. Right. So again, Z is equal to P1 minus P2. What is P1? 0.6 proportion minus 0.54. P1 minus 0.54, right? Upon square root of here capital P1, capital P2 both are same. That is capital P, and the capital value is 0.574. So obviously 1 minus P1, 1 minus P2 also will be same. Only thing is 1 upon N1 plus 1 upon N2. So capital P is 0.574 times 1 minus p. 1 minus 1 minus p means 0.436. 436 or 26? I think 26. Okay. Actually, my screen is not visible, so that's why the handwriting is something bad now. So 1 upon 500 plus 1 upon 400. Okay. Now, please give me this value. Calculate and please give me this value. What is the value of this entire expression? I hope everyone understood why P1 is same as P2 here. Why? Because here in this problem, the type 1 rods are manufactured by only one company. So the proportion of customers favored to the type 1 rods is same. Population proportion. One 1.809. 1.809. Okay. 1.809. Okay. Now, at what level of significance we have to check? The level of significance in this problem, 5% level of significance. So if 5% level of significance, what is the Z alpha value? Five percent level of significance. So what is Z alpha value for two-tailed test? Morning also you have evaluated, no? So what is the value? I think it is something around 1.96 for two-tailed test. For two-tailed test, it is 1.96. Okay, you get this value from the table. So now the conclusions. So since the mod Z value, which is evaluated 1.809, is strictly less than the table value, that is 1.96, which means that what we can do, we can accept the null hypothesis. We can accept H naught. That is, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is there is no significant difference between the customer's opinion towards the iron rods of type 1. That's all. The conclusions you have to write. It is not simply we can accept H naught. Okay, but what it is, what its meaning. Okay, so that is what you have to write it here. You write later. Okay. Now read the second question also. The next question. So read the next question. So in a large city A, in a large city A, 20% of a random sample of 900 college students had defective eyesight. In other large city B, 15% of the random sample of 1600 college students had the same defect. Okay. Is this difference between the proportions significant or not? That is the question. The difference between the proportions, whether is it significant or not? That is what we have to find out. Obtain a 95% confidence limits for the difference in the population proportions. Remember that. Difference in the population proportions. Okay, the last part we will see towards the end, but first let us see the remaining. So basically here, now here we have two different populations. Remember that city A and city B. Suppose in the previous problem, company A and company B, if it is given like that, then the approximation of the total proportion, the population proportion is different. Okay, but here we have two different populations. So here P1 is not equal to P2, need not be equal to P2. In this case, since the iron rods are coming from the same manufacturing company, the population proportion both are same. But here it is not like that. But here it is not like that. Okay. So here we have the city A, and then here we have city B. In city A, we have a random sample of 900 students. And in the city B, we have a random sample of 1600 college students. Out of 900, 20% of college students had defective eyesight from city A. And out of 1600, 15% of the college students are having the same defective eyesight. So now everything is given. N1 is equal to 900. P1 is equal to 0.2. N2 is equal to 1600. Small p2 is given to be 0.15. Now what we need to find out is the difference between the proportions is significant. Difference between the proportions. Okay. So difference between the proportions. So again, we need to start the null hypothesis H0. H0 assumes P1 and P2 are both are same. Means P1 and P2, there is no significant difference between the P1 and P2. Do not say, sir, here P1 is equal to 0.2 and P2 is equal to 0.15 and P1 is not equal to P2 and hence H0 is rejected here. You say. Don't say that. It is not the mathematical. Okay. And the alternate hypothesis is, yes, there is a significant difference between the proportions. Everything you need to write. Okay, I'm going little faster. I'm not writing each and every step now. Okay. Now, the test statistic Z is equal to what? P1 difference between the sample proportions upon the standard error for the proportion. What is the standard error here? Capital P1 times 1 minus capital P1 upon N1 plus capital P2 times 1 minus capital P2 upon N2, which is equal to earlier in the previous problem, since the iron rods are taken from the same manufacturing company, capital P1 and capital P2 become same. But here this is from one city and this is from another city. Now we cannot conclude, we cannot take P1 is equal to P2. Okay. So in this case, what we have to do? In this case, what we have to do? How to approximate? How to approximate? So in this case, P1 will be approximated with the capital P1 will be approximated with the small p1, and capital P2 will be approximated with the small p2. Okay, but otherwise we do not have any other information, right? So that is what we have to do. So now capital P1 is 0.1, small p1. Now coming to the, let us evaluate this one. It is 0.2 minus 0.15 upon the square root of small p1. So that is 0.2 times 1 minus p1. So that is 0.8 upon n1. n1 is 900 plus p2 is 0.15 times 1 minus p2. So that is 0.85 upon 1600. Evaluate the value and tell me what it is. Evaluate the value and tell me what it is. Can you give me the value? So in the numerator, it is 0.05 upon the denominator value. (0.016). The total value is 3.1161. Total value is 3.1161. Now what to do? 3.1161. Okay, evaluated. Now what to do? Morning also we have. In morning also, in the very first problem, I have said something. Morning also, in the very first problem, I have said something. What we have to do? Calculated value is 3.1161, which is strictly bigger than 3. Which is strictly bigger than 3. Thus, since mod z is equal to 3.1161, which is strictly bigger than 3, implies reject H naught. At what level of significance we are rejecting? At any level of significance, we have to reject this. There is no other. Why? Because if we have to accept it, you know, at what level of level of significance we have to accept? It is 0.0027 level of significance. Whether is it required for us? 0.0027 level of significance. We have evaluated the why this 0.0027 comes. Morning. Okay. Yeah. So reject H naught. Rejecting H naught means what? Rejecting H naught means H naught says there is no significant difference between the proportions of the proportions. We are rejecting, which means that yes, accepting H1 means there is a significant difference between the proportions. That means site city A and city B cannot be concluded. Whatever, suppose if you want to do some any medical related things regarding this defective eyesight. So city A and city B, for both the cities, you cannot do for both of them same. Why? Because there is a significant difference is there. So for one city, you need to do more, and for the other city, it is comparatively less. Okay. Now, but the question is not yet over. There is another part is there. Obtain 95% confidence limits for the difference in the population proportion. Difference in the population proportion. Remember that. What is the population proportion? Population proportion is capital P1 and capital P2. Difference in the population proportion means capital P1 minus P2. DIFFE, difference in the population proportion is capital P1 minus capital P2, right? Now, what is the what we have to obtain? Obtain 95% confidence limits, means the estimation we have to do. The estimation we have to do. How to do the estimation? Capital P1 minus capital P2 is equal to small p1 minus small p2, or maybe we can say it is belongs to small p1 minus small p2 plus or minus z alpha times the standard error of difference between the proportions, that is, which is equal to P1 minus P2 means 0.2 minus 0.15 plus or minus Z alpha. Z alpha is what? Z alpha is 95% confidence. 95% confidence limits. So what is the Z alpha for 95%? What is the Z alpha for 95%? 1.96 for two-sided for two-tailed test, right? Times what is the standard error? Standard error of difference between the proportions is 0.016. 0.016. Okay, so you simplify this one. You will get +1 with minus, you will get one limit, and -1 you will get another limit, the lower bound and the upper bound. So then what we can say, the difference between the population proportions lies between these two limits with 95% confidence. Okay, so that is the meaning of this confidence limits. Is it clear? Do you have any problem? Do you need to get any more clarification? Or is it clear? Anyone is there on the other side? Abhishek Dadij. Abhishek Dadij, are you there? Apurv Tripathi, are you there? Aniket Singh Tomar?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
Then why don't you reply? You don't want to reply?
So there was some.
Divyanshu Rana? Divyanshu Rana? Kirtivasan? Kirtivasan? Rishabh Ranjan?
No doubt, sir.
If you have no doubt, then why don't you reply?
Okay, sir, I will reply. No doubts.
Saurav Mandal? Varshini?
No doubt, sir.
If you people have no doubt, then why do people don't reply? Why you people keep mum always? Huh? For both the sections, attendees are 75. Out of 75, I have called few names. 3/4 of the 3/4 of you are not listening, basically. And remaining 1/4. So now look at the another example. A sample of 1000 members has a mean 3.4 centimeters and the standard deviation 2.61 centimeters. What is this 3.4 or 2.61 related to what attribute? It can be anything that depends on some other. Okay, so attribute is not matter for at this point now. Okay, so mean is given to us. Sample size is given to us. Sample size is n is equal to 1000, right? Sample mean means x bar is equal to 3.4. Sample standard deviation means yes is given to be 2.61. These are the data given to us. Now, is the sample from a large population of mean 3.25, population mean is given to us, and population standard deviation is also given to us 2.61. This is the data given to us. This is the data given to us. There is a large population. We do not know what is the how much big the we do not know how much big the population was. But what we know regarding some attribute A, the mean of the mean in the entire population is 3.25 and the standard deviation is 2.61. Whereas out of the large population, if you choose a random sample of 1000 members, for this particular sample, we have some 3.4 and 2.61 centimeters. Okay. Now the question is the sample from a large population? Is the sample from a large population? Means whether this random sample is belongs to this large population or what or not. That is the question. So, so generally, when we will say that a sample is taken from a large population, you have to remember that first thing, there should be no significant difference significant difference between sample mean and population mean. Not only that one, it should also have, there is no significant difference between sample standard deviation and population standard deviation. If it happens, then we will conclude that whatever the sample is belongs to that population. Okay. Suppose if out of these two, even if one fails, then we will conclude that the sample is not drawn from this population. Okay. Of course, with at some level of significance is there, with some level of significance only we have to say it. Okay. Now, so it is a very important thing. Remember, when we will say a sample belongs to a population, first thing, two things should happen. There should be no significant difference between the sample mean and the population mean, and there should be no significant difference between the sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation. Both must happen. If there is a difference in either of these, then we will conclude that the sample is not taken from this population with some level of confidence. Okay. Now, if you observe here, out of these two things, if you observe here, look at the sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation. Both are of 2.61. So even if you find out what is the difference between the sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation with the standard error, then what will happen? S and sigma both are same. So this value is actually equal to 0, and 0 will be less than any Z alpha. Zero is less than any Z alpha. So you have to accept it. Can you see that one? So that is the reason, particularly in this problem, we no need to check the second condition, that there is no significant, it is already, we can see from the data that there is no significant difference between the sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation. Now the question comes, is there any significant difference between the sample mean and the population mean? That is what we need to check. So to check that one, we have to define where the process is there. That is the testing of hypothesis. H0 says sample mean, standard deviation, sample mean and the population mean, there is no difference. And H1 says, yes, there is a significant difference. And the test statistic is Z is equal to X bar minus mu upon sigma upon root n. And as you know, it follows the standard normal distribution. Right now, evaluate this one. X bar is given to be, what is the sample mean? Sample mean is given to be 3.4 and 3.25 population. So that is 3.4 minus 3.25 upon sigma, population standard deviation, that is 2.61 upon n, the sample size. What is the sample size? Sample size is 1000. So square root of 1000. Square root of 1000. That is equal to, can you give me the value of this one? Can you give me the value of this one? Can you give me the value of this one? Can someone give me the value of this one? 1.8174. That is equal to 1.8174. Okay. Now 1.8174. Now what about this value? What is this level of significance we need to check? Okay, at this point the level of significance is not given. So level of significance. Okay, let us take 5% or 1%. Okay, maybe you can take a large population get 5% level of significance. 5% level of significance means what is Z alpha now? Z alpha is 1.96, right? Z alpha is equal to 1.96. Now the conclusion is since Z alpha, since mod Z value that is something around 1.8174 is strictly less than Z alpha value that is 1.96 means that you accept H0 at 5% level of significance. 5% level of significance accepted. That is, there is no significant difference between the sample mean and the population. That is no significant difference between sample mean and population mean. So there is no significant difference between the sample mean and population mean, and from the data it is already there is no significant difference between the sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation. Therefore, what we can conclude? We can conclude that the sample is taken from the large population with the mean. What is the mean for the population? It is given 3.25 and standard deviation 2.61. Okay, right. Whether the problem is over? Not yet over. Problem is not yet over. Why? Because if you look at the see, there is something else is also asked. What is that one? If the population is normal and its mean is unknown, the population is normal and if the mean is unknown, that means up to this point it is given the population mean is 3.25. Now the question is, suppose if the population mean is not known to us, then we need to find out 95% and 98% confidence limits of true mean. True mean in the sense population mean. Okay, so that is 95% confidence limits of true mean. True mean in the sense population mean only. Provided the population mean is not known to us. Capital P belongs to small p. True mean in the sense it is not p, it is mu, right? It is mu, right? Yeah. That is population mu belongs to x bar plus or minus z alpha times standard error of x bar minus mu. That is belongs to what is x bar? 3.4 plus or minus z alpha is for 95%. What is the z alpha? 1.96. 1.96 times what is the standard error? Standard error is standard error of x bar minus mu. X bar minus mu, what is the test statistic here? 2.61 upon square root of 1000. That is 2.61 upon square root of 1000. So with plus 1, you will get upper bound. With minus, you will get the lower bound. Okay. Okay. That is 95%. Suppose, but it is also asked what are the 98% confidence limits, right? So for 98% confidence limits, mu belongs to x bar plus or minus z alpha times standard error between the sample mean and the population. So that is belongs to, or that is equal to, basically mu belongs to x bar is 3.4 plus or minus. For 98%, what is the z alpha? 2.33. Yesterday we have seen times standard error 2.61 upon root of 1000. Okay. So that is, suppose if the population mean is not known to us, then we can say that with the 98% confidence, we can say that the population mean belongs to the rise between these two limits. Okay, and with 95% confidence, we can say that the population mean belongs to this interval. Okay, now you see this one. As the percentage increases, what happened to the confidence? As the percentage increases, what happened to the length of the interval? The difference between the limits, lower bound and the upper bound. Everything is same, right? Except here 1.96 times and here 2.33 times. Means when 98% means the interval range that we are providing, that is very big. Okay, but with 95% confidence, comparatively, the interval range is less. That is what you have to understand. Okay. Now, so let me finish the last problem also here. There is a sample, it is a very direct problem. Sample mean is 28.8, standard deviation is 6.35, population mean is 30.5, and population standard deviation is unknown. Right. Check whether is there any significant difference between sample mean and the population mean at 5% level of significance. I am not solving this problem completely. Okay, just but it's in the sample size should be given at least. the sample size should be given. Without the sample size, we cannot proceed. Take sample size to be maybe 100. Sample size is 100. Okay. Now, n is equal to 100. Sample mean x bar is equal to 28.8, and the sample standard deviation smallest is 6.35, and the population mean is also given to us, that is 30.5, and the population standard deviation is not given, unknown. Okay. Now what we need to check? We need to check the difference between the, again, in between H0 you should write, H1 you should write, what is the mathematically and verbally also, and H mean. Now the difference between the sample mean and this one. So x bar minus mu upon sigma upon root n. This is the test statistic, and we know that by central limit theorem, for the large samples, it follows the standard normal distribution. That is equal to x bar, it is directly given something around 28.8, 28.5, 28.8 minus mu is also there, 30.5 upon. Now it is not given, no? Standard population standard deviation is not given. Then what we have to do? We can, for large samples, the approximation, you look at the yesterday's notes. Okay, for large samples, when the population standard deviation is not given to us, we will consider it approximately equal to the, what is called the sample standard deviation. So that is 6.35 only. 6.35 upon root n, that is 10. Okay. Now evaluate this one. What you will get? Can you tell me what is the value? Can you tell me what is the value? What is the value? Minus 2.6772. Gone. Minus 2.6772. Okay. But in the problem, at what level of confidence, at what level of significance it is asked? 5% level of significance. So what is the Z alpha value? Z alpha value 5% level of significance means 1.645. 1.645 or something else? No, it is not 1.645. It should know. It is not 1.64. For 5%, what is the level of 5% level of significance? Is 1.96, right? Yeah. It is 1.96. 1.96. Therefore, conclusion is, since the calculated value mod z, that is equal to 2.6772, is strictly bigger than the statistical value Z alpha, means reject H0. That is to, in other words, it is to say accept H1. Rejecting H0 means H0 assumes there is no significant difference between the population mean and the sample mean. We are rejecting it means there is a significant difference between the population mean and the sample mean. That's all for today. Tomorrow also we will hit some more problems. By tomorrow, with the tomorrow tutorial, we will be completing the large sample theory. Large sample theory. For example, last 2 sections, today 2 sections, and tomorrow section also. It comprises of one large sample theory. After this, small sample theory comes. The process, the techniques are same. but the only thing is the conditions, the formulations are little different, very little different, and the corresponding approximations are also will vary very little. Okay, that's all for today. If you have any doubts, you are welcome. Thank you all.